Hey y'all, it is your friendo, the Lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins, and I'm doing another episode of Autie Eats. Autie Eats is all about expanding my culinary palate. As an autistic person, sometimes it's hard for me to access foods that are not my safe foods. And I also want to be the kind of person who is constantly expanding their life. And I think that starts, or it could start, a way to approach it could be to expand one's palate. And so I am taste testing new to me fruits and vegetables. That feels like a good way to start. And I tend to do this like in spurts. Like sometimes I'm really excited about new foods, and other times I'm like, oh no, it's tater tots and chicken nuggies. And so, yeah, this is one of those more expansive times, and I want to take advantage of it. Today, I'm doing a pear comparison. Comparison. I like pears. Pears are a fruit that I enjoy. And so I tried, I'm used to, I think they're called Basque pears that have like the brown skin, and it's a little bit like of a russet, that texture that's a little bit more papery kind of. So that's what I'm used to. And then one time at Sprouts, I tried a red pear. It's got a fancy name, but I can't think of its fancy name right now. And I really liked that experience, and so I am trying two new to me pears. This one is a Kamis pear. That's how the internet said Kamis pear. I think that's how the internet told me to pronounce it. I looked it up on Google. And that doesn't sound right. It's Comice, which I would like to pronounce Calmies. But yeah, the internet says, I'm pretty sure that it was Kamis. Anyway, this kind of pear and this little baby pear called a Yali apple pear. So we're going to compare them to what I know of pears. So first thing to notice is I think that this is a pretty normative pear size. It feels, neither one of these feel like very soft. You know how pears are often a more soft fruit. So I wonder if they're not ripe or if this is just how they are. It's a new to me food, so I don't know. What will I say? I think that this one, the Yali apple pear, has more of that papery texture on its skin than I'm used to. You see, it has spots. Whereas this has more of the shiny texture that I would associate more with like an apple of some sort, though it does have some of the spots. Smells. It has a butt like an apple. And this smells low-key perfumey, like a hint of jasmine, apple forward. Yeah. This guy smells like a pear. Yeah. And I will say that the skin of this one seems thicker somehow. Yeah. I'm trying to use all of my senses. So we've talked about their textures. Visually, I love this kind of yellow-green color. It indicates a sort of tartness to me that I'm kind of low-key excited about. That's how they look. That's how they feel. That's how they smell. How do they sound? They both sound like pears. Yes. Let's try them in our mouths. So I always have to, with an apple or a pear, use a knife. So cutting through this, it's got a kind of softness to it that does indicate that there's ripeness. The smell has not gotten any stronger really upon cutting it. Just classic pear smell. Oh. Classic pear texture, but with a high note. There's a nice acidity there that is not present in most of those brown Bosc pears, I believe they're called. And it is ripe, even though it was very hard to the touch. The perfect ripeness, in fact. Yeah, there's a bit of a high note, but right after that, it's kind of bland. Maybe even more bland than a Bosc pear. You know how sometimes people blanch pears and then like put like a fancy syrup over them? I'll bet these would be good for that. Like some kind of bright lemon-based syrup. It's a perfect texture. So yeah, this is the ComPEARison pear. Yeah, it's so funny. The first bite, the first note is that bright lemon, and then it just sort of dissipates after that, kind of disappointingly. 6.7 out of 10. Now let's try the buttery finish. Nice. Lemon, bland, butter. That's what that shape is. Lemon, bland, butter. Now let's try the Yali apple pear. Look how dainty. Ooh, do you hear that? That's a nice crispness. The bite is much more like an apple. It's got the texture of one of those Asian pears, which I absolutely appreciate. Yeah, it tastes most like an Asian pear. It's kind of got that kind of crystalline crunch feel that Asian pears have. There's a lot of space. Like it's not as dense. It's like a more of an open texture. Crisp. Not as much flavor as one of the Asian pears, though. It tastes like if you had an Asian pear and you slice that pear, put it in a glass of water and let it infuse, and then you only drink the water. That's what this tastes like. I bet it would be really refreshing on a hot day, but it has no real taste. It's funny to me that it does not taste as good as it smelled. I'm not getting any of the jasmine that I smelled or any of the apple that I smelled. Dang, you are so cute, but disappointing. The closest thing that it tastes like to me is one time I had jicama, and it tastes like nothing crispy. A crispy nothing. That's what this reminds me of. But the crunch is there, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go 4.9 out of 10. 4.9 out of 10. 6.7 commas pair out of 10. That's all I got. Yeah. Thanks for watching another episode of Autie Eats. Smell you later.